Okay, we're in business. So, good morning, guys. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. It is the 18th of January, and I am sorry, Gregory. I will get that fixed for you today on what you asked me to do yesterday. I just didn't get to it. So, just really quick. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is for educational purposes only. I strongly recommend, again, you use Top Step or Apex Futures Funding. If you're learning how to trade, futures can rip your face off. If you do not know what you're doing shockingly easily, you have to have a process. And then obviously consult your registered financial advisor or risk trading plan before trading actual cash. This is how you get a hold of me if you have any questions, which is, there we go, TRADEnPerform@gmail.com. Okay, so I want to show y'all something, okay? If you stayed on process, right? I'm just talking about the stars process, right? I'm going to go back to yesterday because everyone's like, wow, it was a really difficult day. Just on the stars, nothing else, at the fourth channel. Okay, so we'll just go from 8:30. We'll pretend like we can't tell that there is a, we'll pretend like you can't tell. Hold on, am I unmuted? Oh, I'm not. Sorry guys, second day in a row. You can hear me now? So Gregory, I will have that fixed for you today. Good morning, guys. So I just want to go through the stars real quick so everyone can see, right? If you just do a count. So if you just do them blindly, and you had no idea we were an open drive low or a gap down, and you didn't care what time it was. 1. The question is, can it make it to 10 points, right? 1, 2, 'and a fair disclaimer, I do not know that this looks the same today as it did yesterday. Okay, the algo does, the date changes it, especially when I turn it on and off. So it may not be all the stars, in all fairness. Okay, so for those who are looking for it, right? So I'm pretty sure there was a trap back into this over here. So it was like 3 stops in here, right? So like, for example, this was a triple dot up. There's nothing I can do to fix that. It just changes. If I disconnect it and reconnect it, it'll just change the layout. And I have it all correct in terms of the setup, right? But what I'm trying to point out is these are correct, right? There's actually more. So if you look, it's stop, which we didn't take, by the way, right? That was the first trade. So if you look right out of the gate there, so I'm pretty sure, Randy, correct me, it was 2 stops on the red star, on the green star, right? Yeah, I am. Sorry, guys. Who wants to tell? I'm Matt with the comedian here. So 1, right? 2. So this one I know was there because I took it, and this one was there because I know because I took it. 3, right? Just keep going. Stop. This is at 11:43. I'm just pointing out where they were, okay? Stop. Right, so this takes into account no 50-60 retrace, location, nothing, right? Stop. Big green. So remember, the stop on that and the target on that are 1-to-1, right? And in some cases, once you get into location, like that was a 50-60 retrace right there, right? These are giving you really big extensions to the downside, right? So all I'm doing is, if you said, hey, if you were 50-50, you had to get to the 4th channel, right? You have to get to the 4th channel in order to take them. That's the end of the day, right? So I understand that it may not look, it's close, it's not picture perfect, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 stops, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, right? Not only that, right, but the majority of the wins, right, the majority of the wins were considerably greater than 10 points, and most of them, if you put a 15 or 20 point target, gave you a closer to a 1.5 or 2.0 RR, right? So What I want to point out is that if you stayed on process, yesterday was a difficult day. Like most days, we don't have this free fall right at the open, right? Most days you don't have the free fall right at the open. Can you explain why you did not take the first sell star? Yeah, because there was an impulse move in the first trip up to the top of the channel, right? And I was looking for a reversal because we were at the 50-60 retrace. If you remember from yesterday, Dan, I put up, hold on, thank you, 5 minute. So this is the chart from yesterday. Excuse me. This is the chart from yesterday. So in terms of support or resistance, we gapped down, right? We were already down 270 points, right? So I'm not going to continue to short minus 270. As a matter of fact, I can tell you right now, once we're down 200 points, I'm pretty much thinking we're going to counter rally back up, right? Almost every time. But secondly, if you look right at 9 a.m., remember I marked this off. This is the 382 retrace. So let's go back to where I drew that out, right? So I was drawing it from back over here from the swing on the 8th. So the first red line was the 382, the second was the 50, and the third red line was the 62 retrace, right? So Dan, now that makes a lot more sense, right? That should click in. And so you're usually going to think when we get to the 50, every retail trader in the world plus institutional guys looking at it, right? And then my target back, right? My target back would have been IB low. And so that first pump wasn't anywhere close to IB low. This was Globex low, the blue line, and the 382 retrace. And then this was IB, so IB low, Globex low, and then IB high were the three targets above. So I didn't do this great, by the way, right? So just because I can see it afterwards or I can kind of get the levels before, doesn't mean I got it all organized. Mostly I was concerned with not getting annihilated on the way down. So Dan, what would help you with that, because I know you like to trade momentum, is go get a chart, right? And go back through and count the number of days where we're down minus 200 and what happens after that. And usually your better trade is going to come to the long side after we're down minus 200, right? So if you go back in and look at that, so now I want to talk about what's the next way we could figure that out, right? So this is chart number 14. Then I'm going to fix that chart really quick. How much time do I have? Chart drawings. Okay, there you go. So when you look at this, so now it's covered over. So when you look at this area, right? This is prior day's low. So we gap down underneath prior day's low, unable to test prior day's high, IB low, the 5 minute IB low, 5 minute IB high, IB low. Red line was the 382, and this was the 50 retrace, right? Excuse me, IB low. Blue line's IB low, purple line's, excuse me, let me try this again, ADD. Purple line is IB low. Blue line is IB high. The deeper blue is Globex low. The red line is 382, and this red line is the 50 retrace. And this is what I had tagged as a support resistance just off the chart, right? So if you look why I didn't want to short here, there's two reasons. We came off the 50 retrace, right? Secondly, I wanted to backside test just like right here for the long to get the pump, and then my target was back initially to IB low, which I didn't get this. I should have stayed with the trade, but I didn't, right? And then you have the Globex low, right? And then you have IB high would have been the next target, right? So that's easy to see afterwards, but I did point, if you go back and look at the video, and I'll post it, that was on YouTube yesterday, that's exactly what I said would occur, right? So really, what you could have argued even better, Dan, was at this point, once we'd gone supernova, is that really you were looking for the reversals up and out back towards these targets back over here, right? So now let's back up for a second. I want to show you all something. Okay, what you should have done, see when you have the dots where there's double dots along the way, there's or a white dot with it, there's a lot of volume on here, okay? So see this guy right here? So see on the way down, this guy specifically is the last strong seller, right? And once you get a point of control above him, which was this bar right here, the backside test of that guy will usually launch. Now, here's the tricky part about that. Because then you could argue, and quite eloquently, right? Well, Simon, I've got this guy over here, but, excuse me, this guy right here. But what you'll argue is this guy is stronger than this guy, okay? And what you're looking for, usually as you push up, right? What you are looking for is to the upside. I want to say that again. To the upside on the shorts, to the downside on the longs. If you'll notice all the way down, this was my strongest push down. Once we got past them, it was over. So now watch on the upside. See how we don't have any double or triple dots? Up. I'm talking about up, right? So watch. They're usually going to come back. They didn't do it in this case, at least on this. Oh, there it is right there. See how you finally got this guy right over here, right? So draw a line along him. Okay, see how the star down below, see you get below him, comes back up, star down releases. You had to get below this guy. This is the guy that pushed closest to the high. Now, in an ideal scenario, that would always be on the left column, but it doesn't always lay out like that. And you'll see that kind of set the plate for the move down. And if you'll look over here to the right, see where we took off over there? It becomes this guy. The problem is this isn't, perfect is not the word I want to use, but see this? It becomes this guy right here. Okay? Now, if you'll look through there, see how you're looking for either an orange dot or a star to push away from that guy, and it's this star right here that pushes the breakout to the upside, right? Now, that's something I can't plan, right? That's just real-time price action where it lays out. But this was the strongest push to the downside. This was the strongest push to the upside near the high. This was the strongest push to the downside. Now, before you all go adapting this, why am I going through all this? So, several members have asked about Top Step Trader, and one of the problems that we're having is, hold on, I need to reset my DUMs just to make sure they're ready to go. And guys on YouTube, I'm going to start posting, I bought an Apex account this morning just to show it. I have an anxiety about showing my actual P&L in real time, but I couldn't get it to get on this broadcast. Like, I couldn't fix it. I was fidgeting with it. I just did it too late. But one of the advantages on Top Step is this. Let's say you go, oh, I got above my lowest seller and my target is back over here. Just we'll play pretend land. You're a perfect trader, right? So if you take the trade, let's say you take the trade here, right? And you go, as long as I don't close below here, I'm good to go. It's a big stop, but whatever. We had to play pretend land in this case, right? So the problem is that, like, let's say you take the trade here and your target's over here, right? On Apex, if you stretch up here and then you come all the way back down here, you pretty much have drawn down pretty significantly because of the way the trailing stop works. But not in Top Step, right? If you go along here, comes all the way back here, then comes all the way back here, and then goes all the way back up here, you're fine, right? Because your P&L isn't counted to whatever it is at the end of the day, plus your maximum intraday drawdown, whatever that is, right? So my point behind that is some people are more relaxed, not worrying about that drawdown. So I'm going to test it with Top Step. It's been a while since I've had a Top Step account, but I will. I'm going to test it. And actually, I'm going to test it with their smallest account, the 50K account, and we'll see how it goes. And if you're in a regular account and you're trying to get the swing, that's how you determine where the swing is. So you're asking one question: where's the biggest buyer or where's the biggest seller? I haven't reset my DUMs. Give me just 1 second. Where's my? I'll just get a new one. Trading over chart. Settings, order allocation and trade accounts. Add. Yes. Okay. Correct. Settings. There we go. Oh, sorry, let me get the chart. Okay, guys, give me just 1 second. So anyways, that's the other piece I'm going to try to add as I'm going through is going, hey, we should be able to move lower after we get past this guy, or we should be able to move higher once we get past this guy, hypothetically, right? So we'll see how that goes. It's a new wrinkle I'm going to add in the whole mixture of things. That's going to be really hot on you, just saying. Maybe you want to turn it away a little bit. You can turn it down if you need to. It's on high. You can put it in if you want. Okay, so at any rate, that's my 2 cents. Let's go fix the 5-minute chart. I'm going to be a little bit late. Here, let's go fix this. Let's see. Delete. Delete. Valid. Yesterday's high will move to here. And it's a nice reversal, huh? On the open drive. Then we'll duplicate this, right click, copy and move. Again, I'm not worried about, where is this all coming from? Oh, I see. It's copied from another chart. 5 chart drawings. Okay, there we go. Okay, this goes here. That's still the 50 retrace. Right click, copy and move, low. This goes away. This gets added. Let's see. Added. This is 382. 16873. So that goes to oops. Well, this is weird. Do I have 2 of these? I do. $16,873. So it's moved up a bit. So let's move this to that. Prior day's high, prior day's low. Retail gap fill. Someone will try to. I'm going to color that blue, light blue. Prior day's high. And voila, that's it. Retail gap fill, support, prior day's high, 5-day moving average. Here, so we have so many red lines, we'll change the color on that to purple is 5-day moving average. Support 382.50, and then the rest of the supports below are valid. And I will print this. Sorry I'm running so late. We might as well have all of that there, so it looks like this. New. And there it is in Slack. Cool, I'll check it out, Ronnie. Thank you, sir. So, and there we are. So, right, so now going with what we talked about this morning, what would I be looking for? So there's 2 things, right? I have retail gap fill down here, and there's a support level right behind it that's still valid, right? This is current IB low. This is current IB high. This is a prior day's high. And now I know in order to roll lower, I've got to get below this triple dots up right over here, right? And then what would I look for a test? IB low and retail gap fill. I don't even know why we're gapping. I don't really even care. I need to look. I don't have my phone. So I will look on FXCM. Forex Factory calendar, and they say for the Thursday the 18th, they say unemployment claims 8:30, that's 7:30, and then 9:15, our favorite person, like the ECB president, speaks. FOMC Bostic speaks at 11:30, so 10:30 a.m. Woohoo! That's what we got. Right, so anyone else have anything else on the calendar, guys? Guys, the most important thing is you just don't look, whether the week's fast or slow, you're flat the prior day or not, we will find weeks where we have a rhythm and we just crush it. Our job the rest of the time is just to trade on process. Potential tweezers top at the top, and also they're attempting a super trap right over there. The stop is 47.25. It's within the context of a big gap up, right? And obviously they're attempting an open drive higher. I think that's probably a little optimistic in this situation, but that is what they are attempting, right? So we'll see. Now, just give me a second to get myself together. Found my phone. So that the issue here. Hold on. Where's the trade? This is so weird. Hold on a sec. Oh, I forgot about this. Hold on a second here. File, that's the auto trader. Close. Close active window. Yes. Let's try it back. There. Okay, I was wondering where that was coming from. Okay, makes more sense now. Got it. I was like, wait a minute, trades are firing off on this thing and they shouldn't be. So now we fixed it, I think. Going back for tweezer's top. So see how you had to get underneath this guy and then you needed a dot down against him to get the acceleration to the downside, right? That was all there is to it. So, and in the meantime, we are up. $170 and 16 on NQ. On ES, excuse me. And my guess is we're going to take out that IB high. There, I was like, wait a minute, trades are firing off. They should not be. There's the break of IB high. What is going on? Hold on, it's not that, it's trades are firing off that shouldn't be firing off. So that's what the problem is. So I've just got to go fix it. Okay. Yeah, there was some problem there, but I'm not sure what it was. So there's IB low, there's IB high, there's a left shoulder, head, potential right shoulder over there, right? There was this first super trap, was right in there, that was worth 37 to 12. This is the next super trap, no dot on either side. It was worth 42 to 20, and now we'll see. Now they're trying to get back up here to retest it. Back to the high again. Again, I don't think we have anything at 9 o'clock at all. I'll check another source. There's my financial chase. Nothing. ECB's Legrand. That's it. That's a tweezer's top, but not a perfect one. It's not off the top, obviously. It's just left, right, no dot down. We'll see where it goes. And again, the retail gap fill is all the way back here at 70. If they choose to take that down or not. It's pretty funny how bipolar we are from one day to the next. No down dot for the release yet. And this is what you have to get under right here. That's the strongest push to the upside. So you need a dot down or star down from that to get it rolling. They attempted, right? But now they need another. They need another point of control underneath this guy. And then hopefully a backside test and a star down. Sometimes they'll just fall away. Right, that's just for the momentum read. So if you look at your reads from this morning, right, super trap off the fourth channel into the star, that pushed to 52. Super trap, this is from overnight, here to here, that was worth about 20. Here to here, that wasn't great in terms of the actual setup, and now they're trying to do a tweezer's bottom over here. I don't know why we're driving up. I really don't care because I don't want to get emotionally attached to the drive one way or the other, right? And none of these were A+ setups. This was a trap from pre-market. It's okay. This was good off the bottom there, the star up and into a super trap off the left. It was A-, B+, Y. It wasn't. They weren't both at the fourth channel. And then this is dot, right side dot. It's a tweezer's bottom that'll usually lift just like it's lifting. And this is, the only problem with this is it's 8:50 to 9 o'clock. And we'll just go from there. That was really distracting. It was entering and exiting trades. I don't know what was wrong, but it whacked that account for 20 points, $400 a contract. I got it back. I just scalped it back in. But it whacked me for $400, which is in a mysterious way. Like, it was just in, out, in, out, in, out to the tune of 20 points on the Apex account I just got, plus the other ones. So I was like, okay, that's not cool. And here's my coffee. This is still your strongest push. See how he became the strongest push there, right? So the weaker trade, the B minus, is just the backside test and then the bar down from that. Okay, so guys in the room, I'm just teaching it, right? Doesn't mean turn around and trade it right away. So now see how that'll be a dot down off this dot up? That's usually pretty good. The time frame is not ideal, right? So it would be like a 1650 setup, right? And then your stop would be 32. Basically, actually, it's tighter than that. It's 27 because you wouldn't want it. When this works out, it just falls away. So it'd be a 10-point stop, right? So what I'm looking at connecting is this to this, and then I'm looking for it to roll down from there is what I would be looking for, right? So that's how I'm measuring that out. Okay, that's a perfect example of where I'm spying on my strongest buyer, and then I'm looking for a seller to come off of them to push down, and then for the longs, the inverse of that. That's how you gain. So I was going to cover this with you in coaching. Dan, are you in the room still, Dan? Yes, I was going to cover that with you. If you'll go back and look on your momentum, if you'll find the strongest seller down, like down here, right? So you're just going, giving my strongest seller. So it's this guy with the star, right? So see when you get the turn and you come back against him, if you get the dots up off of him, dots usually launches your momentum move to the upside. I was going to cover that with you. I know you already know it from the top of the channel, that you look for that, but that's the same off the bottom of the channel. And particularly if you're doing a 50-60 retrace or coming back for support, that's what launches it off of that. Because but you have to find your strongest candidate in there. And in this case, what you would have had to do is go, well, which way am I trading? Because you would have had this guy over here, and the answer is it's both, right? So this, you'd have to say this was occurring within the context of trend up. So this guy, you have to de-weight him because of the trend up. Okay, that's the only way around it. Otherwise, you're going to go, well, I've got him above and below, right? You've just got to de-weight it. And then, so like this is a perfect example. Let's say we weren't in that 950 period. I would look at this and I would look at this, and if I was swinging from a top step perspective, this is where I would leave that, one or two contracts on and go, okay, I'm shooting for retail fill or one of the support levels below here, or to take out the swing to the left. But here's the cool thing, like once you get 2 bars below, just move, if you have 2 contracts on that, you scale one and then move it to net break even 0 so you don't affect your drawdown in top step. So Apex, it doesn't matter, you get stopped, it's going to tell you from wherever the strongest point is, right? So and then if you take it one step further, you're stacking, right? Super trap, get past this guy, come backside test, add on this guy with a 10-point stop. Now you've stacked the trade for a move down. You still have to be able to read the move, right? If you can't read, well, it's coming down here, or it's like, so now let's flip it, right? Let's say I thought it was long, which I think is a better trade anyways. I'm going to go, well, when we're pushing down, right now this is my strongest guy down, right? So obviously none of these are ideal for long, except this is a super trap. And the reason why it's not ideal. We're already up 200 points, unless you're assuming a plus 300, which given in this environment could happen, but I don't assume that, right? So what I would like to see is a test of IB low, retail gap fill, and on the way down, like I'd like to see some legit selling, and then see where my strongest seller is within that context, and then move. So to add to that, where this is nice, right, is where you have a super strong buyer or a super strong seller, because it makes the read super easy. This no doubt complicates the read overall, right? So if this is confusing to you, just go back to our normal A+ settings. You don't have to think any further beyond that. But if you're like someone like Dan who likes to swing the trade, you've got to be able to read what you're looking for. But the first part of that read, right, comes with here, let's just jump for a second since we're in our no trade zone. If we go back to yesterday where Dan was trading and asking about why wouldn't I short there, what I would have looked for on this initial push up, right, Dan, if I had thought, oh, it's going to go lower, I would have tagged this guy right here, right? I would have tagged this guy right here, and then I would have tagged this guy right here and said, oh, we're going lower, right? And so then the star down against that guy would have been fine, and even this star down here would have been fine because you would have trapped the buyer on top if you'd been looking for the short, right? And then the inverse, if I'd been looking for the long, I'm looking for them to come back over here, right? Retest it and give me the dot up for the push out. And then I get my real breakout against this guy, right? And that gives me the next long. And it's just telling you where the volume's being plotted, right? So you can trade against it. And then if it starts to chop, what are you going to get? Signal upon signal, all folding over itself. It's a backside test against this guy right over here. That's what I'm working against. Sorry to get the trade once, and then I'm working the trade again. But it may stop. Stop is over here. Tweezer's top. What a mess. It's just chop inside 5-minute balance. Star down. Off tweezer's top. And it looks like the market woke up. That star down off that tweezer's top is really, it's as good as a dot inside of it. Here's your next strongest buyer. You're looking for a dot down against this guy or just a down bar, rejecting the backside test of this. And then your test would obviously be 02, followed by the retail gap fill. That is how it is supposed to be. See that? Bam, bam, backside test. The bar without the dot on it released, but then the dot down released, and you don't want it to close behind this bar with the dot down. So now you have to get strategic. So everyone's testing the IB low, right? And then the next logical place is retail gap fill, right? For the release. Did that make sense how I explained that, guys, in the room? Cool. So you see that? You see that? That's a tweezers. That's called a tweezers top. Right there with a and when you get a star or a dot down from that, you get big extensions. Then this was your biggest buyer up to the top. So they closed underneath them. Backside tested them. The bar down is the release. And then the dot down is when they accelerate to the downside. And then this is first target. That would have been the second target. Does that make sense? I understand that completely, Ed. But the process itself is what's important. So if you get it on a stretch, that's what makes it easier. So now, right? Let's say someone was arguing for the long, and now they tested. So first of all, you have an orthodox close below the 5-minute balance, which means this should now become resistance up inside, right? Of course, we're heading right into ECB, lady. So it depends on what she says. Does anyone know why we jacked so hard overnight? Did someone have earnings and I just missed it? So on this, right? So on this, push down gives you the extension, the extension lower, right? Dot down for the continuation. So that's a strong push down. See that dot right there? They're going to want it for shorts. They're going to want to close behind him and squeeze. It's not at location, right? So if they squeeze, they're going to squeeze back to a 50-60 back in, which is usually going to align with this right here would be my guess. Let's see. Right now, that's where your 50-60 is. So your 62 retrace is right inside against your strongest buyer up in here, right? So there's the white dot down, got stuffed. That's good for a scalp. Lift to the upside. Push, I didn't take it because I was too busy drawing pretty pictures. And then on the backside test of this, you would expect rejection. So the only reason I would not take this for anything other than a quick scalp is I know I've got buyers trapped up in here now, right? So you could go. That may be true, but I expect him to push into the 50-60 on that, and I'd be cool with that as well. That's not a problem. But I'd look for pushes up here to get rejected until we get an orthodox close above 17.048, and then we got a dilemma because we're up so much, yet that would be indicative of pushing higher. I really think we'll come back down and test this into ECB, lady. And by the way, and my wife luckily told me, my best trading coach in the world, you know, when that started misfiring trades and doing weird stuff, I don't know what was going on, but she was like, slow down, go back into your read, say it out loud, go through the process of what you expect to happen, what you're reading, so that I don't fire off on tilt, right? Because anyone who's had electric problems or execution problems knows you're like, hey, what the hell's going on? It's really upsetting, right? And so I'll share that with you. That's the one thing that's extremely important. So for me today, the important thing is not going on tilt because I had problems, ghost problems right out of the gate, right? That was weird. Is the dollar getting crunched to the downside? That could account for the rally. Let's go look. Dollar index. DX. No, that's Dynex Capital. Says it's up. You would think down would drive it. So strong push in, close underneath, but bottom of the channel. You'd have to be bidding on continuation, right? So all I would say is if you're going to take that continuation from here, you're either campaigning from up here for the continuation down here, it's not at the top of the channel, or you cut size and it becomes a 1-bar stop, right? And that would be a close at 96.75, so you'd put a tick below at 96.50, and you'd look for the continuation lower, right? And you'd mark it on your chart as aggressive. So that would be the entry, and you would not expect it to get up above this, right? So now you have two guys competing. I would say this guy's the stronger, but you would not want it trading, say, above 08 at this point. And if you want it strictly, you don't want it to close that 06.75, so just put it 07. And now you would expect that to be the backside test of IB, continuation to test gap fill, if that's what you're shooting for. And you'd mark that trade as very aggressive from the downside, right? Why? Because you're at the bottom of the channel and you'd prefer up here. And then you can live with your decision either way, right? They're equal. Look at that. It's one strong guy down, one strong guy up. And it may be the same guy flipping. It's going to close up. And the battle goes on. Oh, you know what this was? Sorry, I missed this. Stuffed up, backside test, dot up for the release was the other way to look at that. They didn't make that very easy or clear. And ECB lady starts speaking. We're supposed to. Does anyone know if this is just a Davos thing or what the deal is there? Okay, well, something got them all excited about the market today. We'll see. It doesn't much matter, Tasia. It'll still make it chop chop. It is, if we can do it, Sean. And this is going to just grind us down. I can tell you that right now. Back. All the way through the initial balance again. Back to the high. That puts us... $162. Not a tweezer's top. Nothing really. Just resistance. Orange dot star down. I'll take that on one contract because of the ECB lady. Stop 37. My entry was 28. Stop 37. File. Flat. There. Just a scalp. And I got robbed a little bit on the scalp. 11 points. Up. Dot with star. That is strong for me. I will take those. I'll take the stops on them too. I should have gone full contract, but the ECB person kind of spooks me a little. Orange dot down, orange dot up, not not at the fourth channel. So let's go identify. This is still my strongest buyer on top, and that's who they're having a hard time working around. So see how they came back and test? Star off rolls down. This is my strongest seller on bottom. That's who I have to beat. And if you give me a second, I'm going to check what's going on with my tree cutters real quick. Give me just 2 seconds. Hey guys, I'm going to take about a 20-minute break while we work out this little ECB lady, and then see if I can't grab one trade between 10 and 10:30, which is still in my trade time. But I don't want to trade during ECB woman. It's already gone to chop, as you can see, and we're inside that 5-minute range. So I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. Let's see if we can pick up one more trade here before my cutoff. Okay, so see up here, this is your guy. This is your guy that's stuck. Right, this is your underneath. This rejection failed. Right, now you came back up underneath them again. Right, so they made it tough up here. And the reason they're making it tough, so the reason they're making this tough is because you're getting caught between IB high, right, and your trapped seller. So there's going to be some places that are going to create chop zones, and that's one of them. And you just have to go with which side you're going to figure out. Off the top, right, this is a super trap, right, stopped it out completely, then dots down. That's a proper entry and out of resistance, right? So then when you come back down, when you're looking for the when you're looking for the break, you know you're going to have to break this guy. Then it comes back for a tweezers top, left, right, with the dot down for the break. And then you still know once you get underneath this guy, this is the release, then your target is back in and back to this support level and back inside IB high. Right? Does that make sense when I explain that? Randy, I haven't seen your message yet. Okay, Randy, great. You can roll out. You're done. Nice job. Plus 400. Sean. Great. Good job. Sean's up nicely too. And I think on a gap up, you know, those gap ups plus ECB chair and profitability. Is anyone having a difficult day that wants to share either publicly or privately? And what I'm looking for to come back up for, if we're going to get a test back up here, is I'm looking for a seller to show up somewhere in here on the right hand side. Anyways, I'll erase all my beautiful drawings. And so if we look at the stars this morning, right, whether there was a speaker or not, right, we just come in and look at those by themselves. We have 1, 2, 3, stop. One, 2, 3, stop. And that's all I've got so far. There's the star up at the fourth channel. Again, that's generally good for 10 points, right? The only thing I'd like to see is I would have liked to seen a press down. See how we get the, somewhere in here I want to press up to exhaust. We don't get it in this case. So that's a valid entry. Again, the 26.75 is your stop, take away another point, and then it's just a scalp to the upside. Is Miss ECB done? Do we know? Let's see if I have an update on that. Oh, and I missed this long. That was the other green. And that's your 10 points, by the way, I think. That was an entry at 36, and you got to 46.75 for the scale. And there you definitely got your 10. Sorry, I'm just not in a mode of trading at the second. That would have been actually a pretty good trade. So, I didn't take it. No excuses. That's another green. You got it. Nice. Okay, cool, Dan. This is still your guy trapped on top. Here. That's your strongest buyer as far as I can tell. When we're in balance, the stars work fantastically, generally speaking. Back into backside test the IP low. So that in terms of stars today, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 winners, 1 stop. And the stop was on the short side. I'm telling you, it's boring, but you can put up the $300 almost every day if you wait patiently for it, has been my experience. Just grinding away. That was a good long. You'll notice this is your strong guy and you're over him. You got to get back underneath this guy to get any extension to the downside. Bostic speaks at 11. That's it. That's all that's left on the calendar. For whatever that's worth. New high on tap at 17,080. And there it goes. I don't know why we're driving straight up, but we've broken out. We're above the 5-minute high. Got the start of the upside. That start was worth 36 to 88. That's pretty freaking good. I don't know what they were driving for so hard, but they were definitely driving hard. Again, I don't have anyone that got stuck up here. So it's still this guy that I have to get underneath to go lower. And that's a super trap back into actually a dot on the left, now that I look at it. That's what that is. 5 minutes till London close. You potential tweezers top could take place over here as well. But I think our day is done. I'm profitable, but not nothing to write home about. That down 400 to start the day when I got chopped like that sucked. Back for tweezers top. That's gonna be a star, white dar up. I'll take that on one contract. Last trade of the day, 71 with a 87 stop. It's not a tweezers top. It's a little bit weird. It's just a stuff white dar star up, and it's at a difficult time. One contract, 71.50 short. I guess you'd call it a head and shoulders tweezers top. There is what you would call it. Again, the time is difficult. Going for a tweezers top up on top, it looks like. That's why I did one contract on that. And they still may end up tweezer topping it. Had this been the opposite, like underneath, that would be a sweet full-size trade to the downside. If it had been underneath IB low, it would have been like picture perfect, actually. Here comes a new high. That stopped. Got to get back down to 79 to take down the new low. New high. Grinding, grinding, grinding. 10:30 close. Let's see what she does. But I'm done with my trades. That's it. That was my last trade. I always do that when I get stopped. I get frustrated, right? And then I turn around and go on meltdown. So it was one trade, and I'm stopped. I'm all right with that. It was on one contract. We got it. Wow. What a nice up move. Plus 225. Anyways, that's why it's hard past that first hour. And this is a weird day, but damn, I hate the straight grind up. But that's what we got. And it's on non-stop motion too. So star up I didn't take. Star stuffed I did take. Longs over shorts in that last period there. And that's all okay with me. It's just brutal. That's all. So, guys on YouTube, I'm going to cut it off. Not a very eventful day. If I followed process, I'd had a much better day than I did with the stars. But that's okay. I'll take it with all the interference with the ECB. And I hate that stuff. Just get the money in the morning and go home. So, anyways, I'm going to cut it off and I'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining us.